Going live. You're live! Hello everyone, I'm Santiago and today I'm gonna be testing Dragon Age the Veilguard on the Steam Deck. So what am I testing this on Steam Deck before than PC? Well, this is one of the few times when a game releases, months before release, they say, oh guys, is deck verified? Before the game even comes out. So a couple months ago they talked about this, so I'm happy to test it first on Steam Deck, because if it's verified, it should work from the get-go without having to do anything. And well, that's usually a good thing to see, at least in my opinion. Apparently no EA launcher and none of that business, which has been a pain in the ass for the Steam Deck. Hi, John of the Johns, how's it going? Nice name, by the way. Pretty funny. So being verified day one, I think I can do an exception and start with the Steam Deck. It has to be a very high standard, I would say. But it has cloud saves, achievements, HDR, all the good stuff. And what about the weight of the game? It's basically, how many gigabytes? 89 gigabytes. So you might want to use an SD card if you don't have a lot of space. But it uses a lot of space. Okay, and I have the deluxe edition for some reason. Okay. By the way, thanks to EA for providing a code of the game. I got it a few hours ago, so I wasn't sure if I was going to do this live stream, but here I am. I never launched the game on Steam Deck. This is my first time launching the game, because again, it should be seamless if it's verified, so wish me luck. Here we go. Before that though, for some reason my frame rate is locked to 15. There we go. Let's see, first launch. Chukochi, pardon, ¿todo bien? I heard that this game is pretty good. Same, I heard that it's technically very good, on PC especially. But about the game itself, I'm not a big RPG fan. I played Dragon Age Inquisition and also Dragon Age Origins. But Origins, I played it for a video, not because I knew about the game before. I just know that when I was playing Dragon Age, it was, oh yeah, from the guys that made Mass Effect. Although probably the people that made Mass Effect no longer work at the studio, let's be honest here. I don't know for sure. But hey, we'll see. ¿Qué dice Gonzalo Fonseca? Me suena tu nombre, no sé por qué. This game is very bad, you don't recommend it? Okay, sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that it's bad. We'll try it. I mean, I'm usually, again, a tech guy. I'm not a huge RPG fan. I played also Baldur's Gate 3, and that game really made me tolerate RPGs more. But again, not my area. Okay, gotcha, top 10. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so far, first launch seems good. CPU maxed out. I'm guessing that's share compilation. That's good. Let's see how long it takes to compile them. Oh, okay, they're already done. Excellent. So the shader pre-compilation done from SteamOS works right out of the box. That's wonderful. Yeah, guys, like the live stream if you like it. If you didn't like it, please like it as well. I haven't even played the game yet. This is my first time. So here I am. And well, text size by itself is on size 2, which is, it fits perfectly on Steam Deck. Same with the subtitles, they're pretty large. Color vision deficiency off, persistent dot off, disable UI hold inputs, let's keep it on hold. Camera shake, I'm not a big fan. Motion blur, nope. Controller mapping, I'm using a controller, by the way, the Steam Deck controller. Mouse sensitivity in this case doesn't matter. Okay. First impressions, at least when it comes to settings, pretty good. Graphics preset by itself, it's on low. So the default settings equals low. Let's see, what else? 3D audio, dynamic. Oh, the music. Yeah, I'm not going to risk it. Sorry guys. Pitch volume 100. Okay. Seems to be fine. So by itself it goes to low. Move the slider until the boxes are the same brightness. I'm not using HDR. So let's put it at 10,000. And let's see the resolution. Okay, we're at 720p by default. Although it uses the entire screen. So, okay. 720. Let's put it at 800p. It's probably an error. Yeah, it was already at 800p. Uncap FPS, VSync disabled because SteamOS does it for us. HDR, I'm not using HDR in this case. Okay. Whoa, by default it's using FSR Ultra Performance. Jesus Christ, that's bad. Look at this. Ultra Performance is like 4 times less resolution, I think. There's none. FSR Ultra Performance or XeSS. Okay. Good to see XeSS as well. Although I think I crashed the game. No, I didn't. Okay, let's keep it like this and then we're going to see if it has more space. But Ultra Performance FSR is overkill, especially at 720p. Yeah, we're going to do Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered later. It's been a busy week. Okay, so by itself, it also has dynamic resolution on, okay? Jesus Christ, the default settings are a very low resolution. Okay, so default settings equals low plus 800p plus ultra performance FSR plus dynamic res 30. What a weird bunch of settings. What the hell is this? A 30 FPS target with 83% minimum resolution at ultra performance FSR on the lowest settings with contact shadows for some reason. And no reflections. And ray tracing, obviously. Not going to touch that on the Steam Deck. Why am I punishing myself? Because I enjoy it. And let me see if there's a way to put music without copyright. Apparently not. Nudity disabled. Sorry guys. YouTube doesn't allow us to have fun. I need to protect myself. Alright. So if you're playing how it shows up on the screen for the first time, which most people are doing that, you're basically using low settings, 800p, ultra performance FSR, and dynamic resolution at the same time. Just to give it a chance, let me restart the game. It's using all the video memory and all this, well, all the system memory. So I'll give it a chance and restart it. Where's the GPU benchmark? Right after this one. Don't worry. In this case, I'm doing the Steam Deck first because they claimed Steam Deck verified on day 1 2 months ago. Awesome, man. I'm glad, Top 10, that you're enjoying it. I suggest you put it at 800p FSR quality. Yeah, it's probably going to be fine like that. I'm guessing they're just trying to be safe when it comes to performance on deck. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. You need to do 10 push-ups before playing? I'll think about it. I mean, if I get at least a $1 donation, I'll do 10 push-ups. That's okay. I'm probably getting in trouble for that, but sure, why not? Just before launching, I want to do a little bit more showing you something. So just for you to understand, if you look closely at the screen, I'm zooming in quite a bit. There'll be things moving in the background. The definition of stuff that is static seems to be good. The thing is, when stuff starts moving, like this rock, it starts doing weird stuff. Again, we're at a stupidly low resolution. But again, we are just seeing the default settings. Because again, most people are not going to touch it when it comes to settings. What's up with the hate this game is getting? It's because basically everybody says it's woke, and it's basically in the description of the game. I mean, you already know what you're getting into, I guess. And I'm not saying it as an insult. They literally say it in the description. And that's okay. At least they are honest about it. Yeah, this is why people are mad, I'm guessing. This... Let me zoom in to show you what I'm talking about. That's probably why they're mad. And that's fine, I understand. Aspirational armor. Okay. By the way, this resolution, it looks bad. But that's alright. We're going to fix that. 6 FPS. Yeah, it's probably going to be 60s because it's forcing such a stupidly low resolution. Playstyle. Let's see. Incoming damage. No. Storyteller. It could be this one actually. Here for the story. Let's keep it on the... yeah. Let's put it on easy because I won't be paying much attention. I'm looking at graphics.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, that's a good voice. Okay. You can change your appearance later in the game. Okay. Hey, Capoeira Games, how's it going? You're going to wait for a sale? Yeah, sure. That's a good idea. I mean, we know very little about the game. I just know that it's verified, but the verified settings, these are the settings that they put.
So, where were we? Oh,
So if you never watched my channel before, I just do performance testing. And in this case,
Let's try this again.
I'll skip everything, first of all. Actually, the faces look pretty good. Do you think you can come into my bar and make demands? I'll do more than a demand!
Nev Gallus is my only shot.
But I skip everything because we're looking at frame rates.
No.
Oh, sorry about the skipping everything. It's just the nature of this channel. I had you on my side.
yeah.
Come on.
All right.
I hope Nev's as good at finding people
Yeah,
as
the
she
CPU usage is insanely
best
high.
damn
By the way,
detective
for the
I've
people
ever
asking
met.
about the engine,
says
this
she's got a
is
lead on
not
SOLAS.
Unreal Engine
I
5.
believe her.
This is Frostbite, the same engine that powers the Battlefield franchise.
The Archon's palace. Something
Okay.
must have gotten them riled up.
So by default, this is what the game looks like. It looks horrible by default. The resolution is stupidly low. I think we can push it much higher. I mean, if I zoom in to show you what I'm looking at. I mean, you're going to see the pixels everywhere. It's ridiculously low resolution. We're not, if you're looking at, well, the CPU usage is very high, which is taken away from the GPU frequency. That's why the frequency doesn't hit anywhere close 1600 megahertz. Although I'm going to try unplugging the Steam Deck for a second and see if that's an issue with my capture card. This happened last time on Red Dead 1. Yeah, it's still the same. Okay, glad to see it's not my capture card this time. So it's pretty heavy on the CPU, like the Battlefield games. Do you enjoy playing The Sims? It's been a while since I played The Sims. I was a Sims 2 and Sims 1 person. But that was a long time ago. I haven't played The Sims in a while. Anyway. So let's pause the game and let's try and make it run good. First of all, I'm turning off dynamic resolution first. Depth of field only on cinematics I think is a good idea. It's probably on display. Okay, dynamic resolution, no. There we go. I don't know why they mixed that with the upscaling. We're doing FSR Ultra Performance. Even on a Steam Deck, I think this is overkill. Let's put it on quality and see what happens if we have magic in the air. So I think the default settings, I don't like how the default settings are. Low preset plus FSR quality. Okay, and dynamic resolution is disabled. It even uses more VRAM when you're using dynamic res. Ooh, that looks so much better. Although the performance is still pretty short, falls pretty short. But looking at it, it runs basically the same as before, but with a better pixel count. So that's a good start, I'd say. So first start, let me see, contact shadows, we can disable that. Okay, that gave us a boost. We can also turn off ambient occlusion. I wouldn't do it personally. Volumetrics, we cannot turn them off. Ray tracing, obviously not. Okay, we're now at the actual lowest settings. I don't usually like vignette in video games. Post-processing on low. Okay, I think we're good like this. So, low preset plus HBAO plus CPU limit. Yeah, probably. And what else? Am I missing something? Oh, no contact shadows. I don't know why those are on. And let's see how close to 30 we can stay. If this is not consistent, we're going to try dynamic res targeting 30, but so far, like this, I have a good a good mindset going into it. This is the first shot. I haven't moved the camera yet, but the CPU is getting destroyed right now. Oh my god, this is even worse. Forgive my positive outlook, I guess.
Just get out of here nice and
Although despite being on low, there's a lot of shadow casting lights. I say this a lot, but those lights cast shadows. I think only this one actually, never mind. I'm probably guessing it's characters plus looking into the distance, we'll see. But I think dynamic res will have to do. Apparently it's only the first area. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it's like that, or other times the other way around. So let's keep it like this for a little bit and see if it's only the first area.
The only thing separating us from the Fade and an endless number of demons. I have to talk him down.
But hey, people say it run well. Okay, depth of field only on cutscenes was definitely a good idea. Let's keep in everything.
Ritual started. But if we hurry, we can
Yeah, this is verified. But the settings that they started with are horrible. I don't know what they were thinking with the settings, the default settings. But first impressions, at least the first level, is not running well. Let's look at that frame rate.
And they're slipping through the cracks.
And when the veil comes down completely.
I lowered the volume a little bit. But first impressions are not nice when it comes to performance. So performance is inverse of Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah. I mean, in Baldur's Gate 3 the first area runs amazing, but 50 hours in it runs like absolute crap in comparison. Never better. I'm happy at least that the characters still look decent on the low setting. Buffering for anyone else, so far so good on this side. I'm skipping all the cutscenes.
Here they come.
Okay, light attack. Okay, this part is at 30 FPS at least when I'm attacking. Oh good, blocking works well. Also the rain is lost with the upscaling. I can barely see the rain. Can you please try the Herstrand setting? There's a Herstrand setting. We're going to try it later. Let me see if the first area is the one that's having issues. Or if it's the rest of the game. Rats! But hey, the environment is pretty interesting. I thought that was the moon, but it was a portal or something. But I love that Dragon Age usually starts with a place catching on fire, being attacked, and you having to flee.
I hate these assholes.
That's pretty funny. I never got to Extreme Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, it's very long. I got there because I got a save file for testing that. The Venatori have erected a barrier. Destroy nearby crystals to bring it down. Sure. What are those crystals? I have no idea. Oh. The one in the middle of the screen.
More intruders!
Avenge our fallen brethren!
Friendly bunch of cultists, aren't they?
The crows have taken out contracts on them. Nasty bastards.
I was expecting worse, honestly.
Come on. Guess we're sliding
After the first 2 or 3 minutes, it improved when it comes to stability. On low, lock it to 30. I wouldn't even try 60s really, we're so CPU limited. Driving kick. Use RV to select your new driving kick ability. It takes 50 rage to use. Oh, okay. This is the UI I was criticizing in the trailer. That was all purple and weird. Not sure if they changed it actually. Maybe they updated the UI. But I'm pretty happy about the screen size of the HUD. That they put it on a bigger size for the Steam Deck. That's a good accessibility feature. Points. Yeah, so far so good. As long as just again, the first adjustment I would do is just disable dynamic resolution and increase the resolution with FSR quality instead of ultra performance. Ultra performance FSR is less than 360p at this resolution. The cutscenes though are 60 by 9. They are not 16 by 10. Also, do you guys mind if the cutscenes are at like 25 FPS? You're not actually interacting, so to me it's okay because I'm watching. I'm not like interacting with it.
This is Nev Gallus, our local expert.
But what do you think? Do you rather keep cutscenes at 30 as well, or do you don't mind?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you can also use GeForce now. That's always an option. Skip, skippity skip.
So, if we do catch Solus, or the Dread Wolf, whatever it calls.
Yeah, I mean, it could get better with patches. That's always a possibility. This is day 1, anyway, but it's verified. And the first time you launch the game, you're basically at 20-something FPS. As soon as you start moving around, that's a very bad first impression. But there was no wait for shader compilation. We just downloaded the shaders from Steam on its own, so you don't have to do anything. Sometimes that's something I don't think about. I think this game on my PC took like 5 to 10 minutes to compile shaders. Here there was like 2 seconds. So that's the good thing of having the same hardware. Press RT to use shield toss. Okay. Okay, Captain America, gotcha. Captain America attack. But going from 30 to 60 is bad. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather keep at 30 unless it's inconsistent. Like, oh yeah, you look at one place, it's 60. You look the other way around, and it's 30. Yeah, I agree with that. That's bad. But in here, at least it's consistently between 20 and 30. It doesn't go too much higher than that. That's the only good thing I can say about performance at the moment. Let's see if it's only the first location. We need to get out of this area ASAP. But it's definitely a 30 FPS game on the Steam Deck. Yeah, Rogue Ally with Bazite is amazing. Oh look, some chains. But guys, do you think this looks like low settings? To me, it looks like, I mean, in the past low settings would be like, you know, shadows. Yeah, the shadows are lower resolution, but it still looks pretty good. This doesn't look like low settings to me. It holds up pretty well on low.
What do you see?
No sign of Solus. Just a big
In between
glowing
medium and high.
window or
Yeah,
mirror or something.
yeah, especially in the environments.
Well, that sounds
Exactly.
ominous.
Yeah, it's not a big sacrifice to go for low settings. We have ambient occlusion on, which is, but that's on the low setting as well. You can disable it, that makes everything look more flat. Warriors have access to powerful two-handed weapons such as great axes and maul. Attacks are slower than those with weapon and shield. Okay, like in Dark Souls. Ah, I'm kidding. Dark Souls didn't invent swords yet. Oh, okay. I see. That's cool. By the way, I'm playing on easy because I don't have to pay attention. Because I'm looking at numbers. Their mileage will vary with the difficulty. The reviews of this game are awful. IGN gave it a 9. That's weird. IGN... Since when does IGN gives games 9s instead of 7s?
There must be a way to open it. Let's look around.
That's funny.
Air's full of magic.
I mean, when I look at IGN lately, it's like, okay, if it's a 7, it means it's okay. If it's a 9, it's weird. If it's a 10, it's even more weird. And if it's below 7, it's hard to agree with IGN. I don't know, depends on who's reviewing the game. But I've seen mixed opinions online about it. What I haven't seen mixed opinions on is about performance and graphics, which is what I'm here for. 7GN, yeah, I mean, every game for them is a 7. They have to play it safe. Okay, there's water deformation. Also guys, remember, this is the same engine that powers Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1. So as long as art is consistent, it should be good with this engine. Okay, 84 on Metacritic. Okay, that's a good look. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the drama will definitely cloud people's judgments, I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's one thing I don't like about the present when it comes to video games. I mean, whether we like it or not, looking at reviews before playing a game will give us an opinion on the game without actually playing it. So if people say, oh, this game is horrible, and you see it consistently on the internet, you'll be going in with a mindset of the game is bad. So you're already going to have big standards, or you're already thinking the game will be dog shit. So usually when I play a game I try not to look at reviews, but it's very hard. The internet bombards you with reviews. So you're going to be biased before playing the game, because X, Y, and Z said the game was bad. But I get the thing that games are expensive, so you probably want to look at reviews.
Tremors every time one of those big crystals at the ritual site lights up.
Not many of them left to light.
Yeah, I mean, some people don't care about reviews, and that's fine. We should use it as informative stuff, not as facts, but unfortunately this affects. When somebody tells us their opinion on the game, we're going to be influenced by it. Same thing happened with Doom 2016. I remember Bethesda didn't give review codes early to reviewers, and people were like, oh man, this game is going to be dog shit, they're not giving early codes. And it was untrue. Bethesda was just being afraid, I guess. You can see a video on YouTube by yourself? Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, YouTube usually, if you're interested in a game, it will recommend you a review right away. Remember guys that your phone hears everything you say. Okay, so far with FSR quality, outside of the first area, we seem to be fine. So the ultra performance FSR thing is overkill. I don't know why they did it. The game looks so much worse with the default settings. Kena Bridge of Spirits, that game is pretty good, actually. I didn't know that there was hate for the Kena game. What the hell?
Stop this demon quickly.
Although some of the voices are a bit uninspired, but Oh, of course, I have a sword and a shield as well. I keep forgetting. But despite the amount of effects on screen, it's still maintaining the upper 20s, low 30s. And I haven't started really tweaking much of the resolution. I just lowered it to quality FSR. Although it looks a bit too pixelated. Not, well, that's not what I'm going to say. It will look pixelated anyway. It looks too chunky with the upscaling. FSR is not doing an amazing job when it comes to consistency, visually speaking. Yeah, I'll try some stuff on medium. Let me get out of the first area.
Good enough. Let's get to Solus.
Also, if you want less drops in cutscenes, make sure to disable depth of field. You can enable it only on cutscenes. That's what I personally do in real life. Because in cutscenes I'm not actually playing, I'm just selecting options. Keep everything, there we go. Was it called Bright Demon? I haven't even read the name. That's hilarious.
We can't hold these demons off forever.
Yeah, FSR seems to be FSR 2. It's okay when it comes to effects, but then when it comes to moving quality, when it moves around, you can see a lot of artifacting, chunkiness around the characters.
By drowning the world in demons, I have.
I'm guessing we can do XeSS balanced. Usually it looks better, but we'll see. We'll skip everything as usual. Yeah.
Right. What?
I'm either.
We want the next area, please.
Let's go.
Did you play Fear game? Yeah, Fear is awesome. I played all of them. Fear 3 was a disappointment though. It was more of an action game. It's just like Dark Souls? Wow. I wouldn't say it's like Dark Souls. Everything kind of is now. It's funny because Dark Souls came way after Dragon Age. Although this feels more like a modern third-person action game than the previous games. And I think my dog wants to get out of the office. Give me one sec. Yeah, definitely he wants out. Let me see what happens if I stay here. Max? You haven't met my dog? Here he is. Hi. Sometimes he just wants to get out. This is a tiny office where I have all my computer stuff. There he is.
This is it.
He's a poodle and he can be very annoying if you don't give him what he wants sometimes. But he's very nice. How old is he? That's a good question. I think he's 9 at the moment. And usually small dogs live longer, so I'm expecting at least 10 years more.
The pillar's weak, but
My previous dog of that race was like 18 years old when he passed away. So yeah, at least we have 6 years, 7 left. Skip. Classic Santiago move. Oof, that's a lot of effects. Yeah. Skip. That's a lot of cutscenes. Holy hell. Okay, there we go. You remember when monitors used to be so fat? Of course, I carried multiple monitors in my lifetime. And TVs. Those big CRT stuffs.
You have no idea what you have done.
Yeah, I do not know.
Solus.
Sí, básicamente, Chuck. Thanks.
I know what I did. I stopped you from destroying the world.
When your blood
I'd like to wake up. Yes, please.
And copy that. Meaning.
he ever knew when I thanks to
You can let them out.
Thanks.
free
You would.
And thank you so much, John of the Johns. Great name, by the way, as I said before, for the £2 donation. He says, thanks for the amazing videos, man. Thanks to you for keeping supporting the videos that you like. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
That's really helpful.
You're the best, bro.
What are you?
I don't know if bro is a good thing. Sometimes I throw it out there. So thanks for being there. It helps me make more content like this one. Yeah, I mean, looks great, all things considered. Just make sure to change the settings so it's not ultra performance.
I should have. No. Oh.
I mean, the 3D models of the characters, considering its low settings, I was expecting much worse.
Yeah. There's a room with a
I guess I'm used to UE5 just muddying textures when you're on a Steam Deck. Hair technology is amazing, but you need to pick curly long hairs. Okay. The game told me I can change that later, so yeah. I might try that. Alright, so after the prologue, we're in this area, and we seem to have a good amount of room to spare. So what I'm going to try actually is XeSS instead of FSR. XeSS usually tends to be way better looking. Hopefully I'm right. So let's try XeSS. I don't know why it takes a few seconds to apply. There we go. So XeSS quality. Which is a little bit higher pixel count, a little bit lower pixel count than FSR, but Intel apparently is very... trust this technology quite a bit. Cool. Okay. I think it looks better on XeSS, at least my first impression. Oh, never mind, there's ghosting. It's not so bad. FSR had chunkiness, XeSS has softness. Yeah, I'll test it on PC as well, don't worry. This time I decided to do the Steam Deck first, just because of the fact that they said, hey guys, it's verified on day one. And I was like, oh yeah? Is that right? And so far, they were too aggressive with the settings, with the default settings.
Look who's
So I think they should adjust the settings to FSR quality or XeSS quality instead of keeping us with dynamic resolution and ultra performance FSR. I think that's way too aggressive. I thought this game was going to flop. I mean, it has a big name attached to it. Dragon Age is very recognizable. It's been a while since we got a Dragon Age game. Like, what, 10 years? But it's a recognizable game, especially on the PC space. I remember when I started doing videos 10 years ago, people were asking me about the game, the Dragon Age games, quite a bit.
stopped.
Sure. I want to go outside, please. Any game you play even after years? Resident Evil 5. I play a lot of Resident Evil 5. And I've also, well,
Just
Resident
like-
Evil 4 as well. But more consistently, I would say Resident Evil 5. Despite the hate, I don't know, I just really like it. I finished it like 7 or 8 times on every hardware that I have. You finish all DA games except Inquisition? Well, apparently Inquisition was when it started getting bad, quote unquote. But it's still a Dragon Age game, I guess. What I want to know, I wanted to try all of the Dragon Age games on the Steam Deck and see if the previous ones actually feel good in a controller. Inquisition had a big issue that didn't detect my Steam Deck controller. Does RE5 still stutter on deck with MSAA? Yes. Seems to be a thing with
For all
Proton.
we know, there's a dozen.
If it even
I just
Well
forced 1200p
then.
and played at 1200p
Let's do this.
on Steam Deck. Yeah, Resident Evil 6 is also fun when it comes to action, but I think it's I don't know, I just cannot get as much gameplay as from RE5. But I do love the movement system in Resident Evil 6. That's underrated. Yes, keep. Can't I just hold B instead of tapping? We tried. Yeah, the teammates don't look amazing. I think the main character, at least, has a good texture on the face, but that's about it. The skin tones, I think, are good.
Right.
But it's like a
Then
weird
you two
mix
get your
of
friend
trying
back
to
to your
be
camp
kind of
and we'll-
realistic but cartoony.
We'll find
I
Lara.
mean, it looks more cartoony, obviously. But it's... I feel like they couldn't decide which... which art style to go for. It's just two in the middle.
Harding, you're a great. We'll meet.
They're not trying to go ultra realistic, but the environments look pretty high quality. But then the characters look like trying to be cartoony with some weird body proportions. So it looks kind of off. But the environments look great. I really like what they are doing with the environments. Definitely. It's just that the character art style looks... I mean, if you compare it with the environment, sometimes it doesn't feel right.
Is it me, or is there something strange about this?
You're lost. What are the
I've never
Dragon
seen
Age games
fuck like
about?
this.
Well, I'm not
Something's
I'm not a fan of Dragon Age. I don't usually play... I didn't play any of them for more than 4 hours. Okay, here we're in the forest. But basically, it's an RPG from the people that made Mass Effect, before Mass Effect existed. And you have relationships between characters and all that, and you have magic. And I don't know much more about it. And I know that it's medieval themed with magic. It was mostly a PC title in the past. Then it became... Well, it tried to appeal to consoles as well. Instead of XeSS quality, let's try balanced. Kind of reminds me of Ubisoft Open Worlds. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Although Ubisoft usually is more consistent when it comes to how the characters look versus the world. If the world looks off in a Ubisoft game, they tend to have characters, at least the main character, kind of blends in. Okay, so we are now on balanced XeSS. XeSS looks better than FSR, definitely. Because instead of being chunky, it's a bit softer. It has a bit of ghosting, with a lot of contrasting images. But it's not as obvious about the pixelation. The chunkiness around the character is not as obvious. Although the game is a bit over-sharpened, I would say. Let me see if I can tweak that. Maybe you can try render quality at 90. Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to talk about, actually. That is pretty cool. The game allows you to do upsampling, but at the same time use dynamic resolution. So your base resolution can be lower, but the UI can stay at 100%. So for example, if in this game I wanted to keep XeSS balanced, I can put it at 800p, which is perfect for the UI. I can use balance XeSS and tell the game, okay, if it drops below 30, decrease my resolution, but my top will be XeSS balanced. So the game should be playing with XeSS balance, and when it has a hard time rendering frames, we just lower the resolution automatically. I wish every game had that feature. It's a little bit of a niche feature, but yeah. Here the dynamic res, you can tell the dynamic res, okay, how low can the dynamic res go in order to maintain 30s? In this case, we're going to put it at 66%. So what does this mean exactly? Well, it means that the game is rendering at balanced XeSS, but if it ever drops below 30, it can lower the resolution below 66, up to 66% of the actual resolution right now. That's basically, I know it sounds weird, but that's basically what it's doing. Also, on XeSS, the dynamic resolution is not working right now because of the XeSS version. So it has a good amount of options. I like that, especially when it comes to upscaling. Let me see if with dynamic res, maybe I can put XeSS on quality. Plus dynamic res 30. Just for the memes. Yeah, I think dynamic resolution with XeSS was actually broken right now. Oops. I don't know why when I enable XeSS, it kind of lags for a few seconds. Okay, dynamic resolution on, target 30, minimum resolution scale. Let's put it at 50, a 20% resolution scale as a minimum, targeting 60. Not going to happen because CPU limitation, but we can try. And since on XeSS right now, due to the version that we're using, doesn't work with dynamic res. Well, as you can see here, if you do it like this, with FSR, actually it works. But as you can see, even by lowering the resolution to 20% what the game allows us, the GPU usage is not maxed out. We're completely CPU bound. So you can make it look as potato as you want. By the way, on PS5, it actually drops to 540p sometimes, I think. Personally, while dynamic resolution works well, it can drop pretty low, actually. I recommend you stay away from targeting 60s or 40s. I mean, look at the difference when you're targeting 30s. This looks good in comparison, because the other thing was just pixels everywhere. But the thing is, when it comes to upscalers, I think XeSS does a way better job. Let me show you very quickly what I'm talking about. So by using FSR quality, I need to zoom in to show you this, because it's difficult to explain. So if you see what's going on in the image there, stuff moving on the screen, there's chunkiness to it. You can see like those tiny squares moving around. That's the chunkiness that I'm speaking about. You can even see it on a smaller screen. I'm zooming in a lot so you guys can see, because many of you are on phones. I know, I see the YouTube algorithm stuff. So yeah. But if we enable XeSS instead, which I'm going to do right now, it should look a little bit softer, but the chunkiness should be way less noticeable. I don't know why, again, it takes a few seconds to enable XeSS. And as you can see, and at least in my opinion, visually, it's more consistent. I mean, XeSS just kicks it in the ass. There's no comparison when it comes to stuff moving around. What am I typing? XeSS. Yeah, chunky. It looks less chunky, but it's still soft because we're lowering the resolution, obviously. Let me readjust the image. Oops. Yeah, I'm zooming in quite a bit, as you can probably notice. But again, I think in this game, they need to fix that XeSS. It's just replacing a DLL file, and you should be good. And that will allow dynamic res. Ziz. Instead of XeSS, yeah, ziz. So since dynamic res doesn't work right now on XeSS, I probably recommend you use balanced, because we can stay only at one setting. But again, once they update the XeSS DLL, which again you can do by yourself, you can enable dynamic res. I mean, it will work, basically. Let me see if lowering this a bit helps us. Yeah, I think it froze. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and you can even change the resolution scale even further. you can give it many options actually. It's nice to be able to actually do dynamic res, adjust the resolution with upscaling, and also tweaking the render scale. It's like a big mix. That's a lot of control over the resolution. That's actually pretty impressive. It's using a modified FSR 2.2. Well, I don't think it's good enough. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. Let's see if this is fine. I'm also looking for a sharpness slider, actually. I'll keep it at 100. And dynamic resolution on, just to show you guys what it should work like once they update the XeSS. Although when I'm trying to move the render scale thing, the game completely freezes for a few seconds. The downside about it is the soft filter without it will be close to DLSS. I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, DLSS uses more stuff to actually upscale the image. But it's going to be perfect at some point, I'm pretty sure. We're still doing... I mean, considering this is 720p natively, the fact that we can upscale it this aggressively and the game still looks like a game, I think is pretty impressive. Anyway. Is this UE5? No, this is Frostbite. Remember Battlefield? Well, this is it. It's the Battlefield engine, believe it or not. So just for ease of showing you guys, we're at 800p, so we use the entire screen. Cutscenes are 16:9. VSync, no, because we already have that on SteamOS. HDR, if you have the OLED Steam Deck, enable it. XeSS, balanced. Then when it comes to resolution scale, I highly recommend dynamic resolution with a minimum resolution of 20% at 30 FPS, because we're CPU limited. You're not getting there. More than 30 is pretty difficult, especially considering how much CPU this uses. And the 20% is for very aggressive moments. Maybe there's a lot of effects on screen. You cannot maybe hit 30s for some reason. This is just like a failsafe. If anything goes wrong, boom, resolution gets cut. As soon as it recovers, we go back to our previous frame rate. But again, this will be fixed in a patch because with XeSS, dynamic resolution doesn't work. They put the incorrect DLL file. We can fix that. We're going to do it at the end, but just to let you know. Then, when it comes to settings, just put everything on low. At least right now, that's what I can recommend. Everything on low except in HBAO, which is horizon-based ambient occlusion, screen space. And basically, ray tracing disabled. I wouldn't really increase anything else. Maybe, depth of field only on cinematics, but you can also put it on both gameplay and cinematics. Personally, if you don't like it, turn it off. I think on cinematics, it's a very, very good. Then, not a fan of motion blur. Same with vignettes. It's just a dark, overlay around the camera. Not a big fan of that. So yeah, that's basically what I would do. Maybe I would increase some stuff. Yeah, there's strand hair, but it doesn't show up. It doesn't allow me to do it. Maybe on... Yeah, no. It doesn't allow me to change the hair quality. Probably it knows I'm on a Steam Deck. This is an example of doing 25 watts would alleviate the CPU bottleneck. Yeah, that would be fine. Actually, that would be pretty cool. But the battery life would be decreased quite significantly. Anyway. 31. 33. Okay, it's a pretty big improvement to lower this stuff. And again, I think the game still looks great without any of this stuff. Maybe we can enable reflections. I don't know how much of a hit this will be. And contact shadows is probably too much. Let's keep them. Whatever. Texture filtering. This I would increase. I'll put it on high. Texture filtering is usually fine. So anyway, I digress. 800p, XeSS balanced, dynamic resolution with a bottom of 20% at 30 FPS. Then outlock it to 30 FPS too, using the in-game solution, at least right now. Low settings with high texture filtering, contact shadows, HBAO, and screen space reflections. The rest basically on low or disabled. And depth of field only on cinematics. And that would be what I would do, at least with the information I have right now. But with it's verified, but the verified settings are absolute dog shit. The settings that they chose, the settings that they chose for verified are horrible. Okay. Dynamic Res 30. And that's it. Those will be my settings. At least for the time being, that seems to be the way to go. Before I forget, let's unplug the charger so we can see battery life. I'm guessing battery life on this one will be pretty low, even on the OLED. You were looking for Witcher 3 4060 specs, but couldn't find a video? No, I haven't done that on the 4060 yet. Thanks for the heads up, by the way, I forgot about that. Okay, and this should be good on the smaller screen as well.
We've got company.
We're just going to affect the DLL for later, so we can actually have dynamic resolution working properly. Because right now, while I have dynamic res running, it's not actually working.
Gotcha.
But as you can see, cutscenes here, we're sacrificing cutscene frame rate. But it can drop into the 20s on cutscenes. To me, not a big deal because I'm not playing the game in these parts.
Strife and Earland.
But again, with settings like this, I think on the smaller screen, it holds up just fine.
Wait, I know that name. Protocol is still with.
Well, the
Skip. Understandable. Okay, guys, chill out a little, please. The people fighting in the chat, please stop. It's just a video game.
I've been trying to get to the artifact at the center of the bubble, but these magical constructs keep getting in the way.
A few dozen demons shouldn't be a problem.
Let's see those reflections, by
Spirits,
the
not
way.
demons. They're animating those suits of armor. The armor's attuned to the
Okay,
artifact.
I
to
can
protect
barely
it
see
from
the
threats.
reflections.
And I'm guessing.
I'm going to
CeSAUX
guess that
is
they're there, but they are very low resolution. But I'm pretty impressed that low settings nowadays has this good shadows in comparison. In the past, you basically removed all of them. Oh my god. What an annoying person.
is that water just swirling into the air?
We call
Yes.
that kind the whirlpool. The
So when it comes to battery life, at least on the OLED Steam Deck, it's using 25 watts. So this is the screen plus all the stuff, including the GPU, CPU, SSD, all that, is basically using 25 watts. The CPU and GPU, the APU, that said, is at the highest that it can be. So we're basically pushing it to its limits because we're using a lot of CPU and GPU. Despite the 30 FPS cap. Although I'll probably cap it from the Steam Deck's menu, honestly. The in-game FPS lock doesn't seem to be amazing. Oh yeah, that's way better. Yeah, that's way better. Yeah, definitely use the FPS log from SteamOS. You think we can play this on a hard drive? Probably. I mean, in the cutscenes when you do camera cuts on the hard drive, it's probably going to be a nightmare, but it's probably going to work, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me advance a little bit further, and once I do so, I'm going to actually change the DLL so XeSS actually has dynamic resolution. Up there, gotcha. Excuse me, sir. But this on the Steam Deck, on the LCD is probably going to be 90 minutes of battery at best. And on the OLED, 2 hours. Yeah, I mean, on a hard drive, it's probably going to be slow when it comes to loading. On the SD card, it really depends which SD card you're using. I'm guessing on the micro SD card it will be fine. Yeah, here it drops pretty hard when effects are close to the camera. So here's when Dynamic Res would actually fix the problem. Yeah. But I'm not sure if it's a CPU limitation, because the CPU, when this happens, it's completely maxed out. I don't think low end resolution here will do anything. But on the, as I was saying, on the micro SD card, it's usually a bit faster than on a hard drive, at least in my experience. I don't have a Velociraptor hard drive. Yeah, those drops
Any ideas on what the artifact we're looking for might be?
seem to be
I
CPU
had a
related.
couple of theories, but nothing definite. We might find some clues in the ruins, though.
Also, we're using all the memory. I don't get how this is verified.
I don't usually see elven ruins that haven't been picked over.
Not many people come this far into Arlathan.
And thank you so much, Will Be Tech, for the 19 Mexican pesos donation. He says, their first super on the live stream. Well, on a live stream. I'm happy to be the first one. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. He
We
says,
have to get over there. The artifact we're looking
thank
for
you.
must be
And you
inside.
probably speak Spanish, so gracias, señor. Le agradezco
Do
mucho.
you know what this place was?
Could have been a temple.
I mean, yeah, 20 FPS is verified. Even if we kept the settings that they actually put, that was like ultra performance FSR with dynamic resolution,
No, we can make a bridge.
this would
There
still
should
happen.
be a power crystal.
So I'm not sure what they were
Feels like an
thinking
armory, or something like that.
with verified. I know it's a smaller screen, whatever, all that,
Got it. Bring it over here and slot it
but I think it's a bit of a stretch.
in. And there we go.
Monster Hunter Wilds? Yeah, definitely, on Friday.
Isn't that something?
A resonance amplifier. It's drawing magic from the ring temple to this area. I need to shut it
But
down.
it's more CPU intensive than I was anticipating.
That will attract anything nasty.
Maybe the 30 FPS log is killing it.
See up ahead? Magical barrier.
What I mean is, maybe the game doesn't notice that there's an external FPS cap and things were dropping below 30 and tries to adjust. That shouldn't happen, but... Those weird stutters in the middle. Oh, you know what? I'm going to give the game more of a chance. Let me see when was the last save. Okay, a few seconds ago. Let me restart the game because I changed quite a few settings. And also, let's try and fix the XeSS, because with FSR it's probably going to be better when it comes to performance, but still. Se agradece, Will. Genio. Mastodonte. It's verified because they they played it on 600p. Yeah, basically. Okay, we're on SteamOS. Let me show you what I'm seeing on my screen. So this should be a replica of the built-in screen at 800p. I don't usually go to desktop mode on a live stream, but here we go. Okay, welcome to my desktop. Let's go on a new incognito window so it looks suspicious. And let's look up XeSS DLL. Okay. So we just need a DLL file. Okay. So what we downloaded, it should be, I don't remember what it was. Here, leave XeSS, I think. No, my bad. Here, leave XeSS.dll. This should fix the upscaling issue. So basically what you gotta do is open Steam, open Dragon Age here, go to the small cog, manage, browse local files, and you'll find all this. And here you should find the DLL that we need. I'm thinking it's over here. Leave XeSS, yeah, here it is. This is the old version, which doesn't have dynamic res. Yeah, it doesn't say which version it is, but it's an older one. So we drop it in there and overwrite the file. And that should be the latest XeSS version. Which means now dynamic resolution should be working. Someone called Nintendo. Yeah, I wonder what's on that tab for. Yeah, same. I didn't even put that there myself. It was definitely my real PlayStation 2, Nintendo's PlayStation 2, yeah. It's definitely 100% legal, yeah. Not suspicious at all. It's just a background. You guys don't understand. Valve's testing indicates that Dragon Age the Veilguard is verified on Steam Deck. Does this match your experience playing the game? No. Is the game laggy? Yeah, definitely. It's laggy when it comes to at least the prologue. The prologue drops into the 20s, but it looks very soft because by default they put ultra performance DLSS. Ultra performance FSR. It's ridiculous. I mean, ultra performance is like 4 times less resolution. It's a stupidly low resolution. It's not meant for 720p screens. Test GPUs before ZWormZ releases a vid. It doesn't matter. When he uploads something, he'll always vid me. He has like triple the subscribers, I think. That's okay. I can take my time. In another universe, Nintendo's PS2. What universe? Is this real life? Did you try Silent Hill 2 with the latest patch? Nope, not yet. But people told me it was a good patch. I don't know if I broke something with the XeSS change. But here we go. Let's go back and retry. Can't wait for an official Steam Deck OS to build a mini PC console. That would be awesome. It's very well optimized for a controller. There we go. I don't know why it failed the first time. Yeah, I mean, ultra performance FSR is a waste of time for everybody. Unless you're playing at 8K, because at 8K, ultra performance FSR is 1440p. So ultra performance was never meant to be for like such a low resolution. It's ridiculously low pixel count. But one thing that I have to give to EA on this one is that they didn't put the EA launcher in the middle of everything. So GG when it comes to user accessibility. Also, by the way, the menu is at 60 FPS. GG. Okay. Let's continue and see what happens. That's quite amazing. You hate having too many accounts to log in. Yeah, but the issue with the EA launcher on Steam Deck is that sometimes it doesn't work. They like push an update and it refuses to launch the game. Okay, it seems to be doing its thing now. What happens if I increase this to 60 or 70? Okay, yeah, definitely now the dynamic resolution is working. Awesome with XeSS. So just change the DLL like I did in this live stream and you should be fine. But apart from dynamic resolution, I think we should lower contact shadow. That shouldn't be there. Reflections as well. Yeah, to get one more frame. And maybe the ambient occlusion needs to be sacrificed. But it looks so much worse without ambient occlusion. Yeah. Yeah, just go for the lowest. Lowest plus HBAO. That should do. Yeah, I don't know what else I can do. Maybe lower the FOV, but at that point, I think it will be a little bit too much. Yeah, texture filtering, I kept it on high because it's not usually a big hit. But if it makes you happy, I'll put it on medium because of the lower memory bandwidth. So once more, 800p, XeSS balanced, and dynamic resolution with a minimum threshold of 20%. When it comes to graphics, everything on low, HBAO, and the rest like this. While FSR should be a better experience, I think XeSS looks way better. It's still a pretty low resolution though. Still, I'm pretty sure we are also CPU limited over here. And memory limited as well. We're using all the video memory, all the system memory, better said. We have 16 gigs to share between RAM and VRAM. We're using 16. The fan is really extreme in this game. What do you mean the fan? Literally the fan. Okay. Yeah, it's at 5,000 RPM. Yeah. Even with dynamic resolution actually working, it still drops pretty low. But considering it's a newer game, I'd say it's acceptable. Not verified, but acceptable. Again, remember that ultra performance FSR is what the game launches with. Can you increase the TDP? The TDP is as high as it goes. I mean, I could mod it and force a higher TDP, but most people are not going to touch that. Anyway, in the meantime, let me use FSR. FSR I think can drop even lower on the resolution. So I'll give it a chance. Yeah, look at that. Oh my god. Yeah, I think FSR is the only solution, guys. You know what, I changed my mind. Put it on quality, FSR, despite not looking great, dynamic resolution, and have a good time,
From a distance.
I guess. Oh my god, it looks so chunky, but the frame rate stays way more consistent. At 30. But hey, that makes it work way better. As you can see now, you can get double digit resolutions. Oh my god, when looking at the part that drops frames, look at that pixel count. Jeez. Yeah, Steam Deck 2 would be nice. I think we're still a couple years away though. And we're operating on Valve time. If you don't know what Valve time is, look it up on the internet. It means we'll ship it when it's ready. Although probably the Steam Deck 2 will be the last Steam Deck. Remember that Valve doesn't know how to count to 3.
Damn, another sentinel construct. We'll have to take it down.
I don't know how this is verified, but if you don't know better and you don't mind looking at 2 pixels fighting each other, you should be good.
Seeing these kinds of ruins never gets old.
But just remember that by default, the game is at ultra performance FSR with the same settings that I'm using right now when it comes to dynamic resolution. So the game will actually look like a pixelated mess across the board, and if it needs to go lower, it will. In this case, I'm being more generous with the resolution because it shouldn't need to go that low. Again, ultra performance FSR in general was not meant to be used at such a low resolution. Help Valara deactivate the artifact. Continue to the temple. Sure. But how do I get this out of the way? They do when you consider the SteamOS version. What do you mean? Maybe I forgot one enemy. Oh, never mind. This puzzle was too advanced for me. I'm becoming a game journalist at this point. What it's like on GeForce Now? I mean, if it's on GeForce Now and you have a good connection, it'll look way better and will run way better. But I think we are actually... I'm more worried about the Steam Deck with better CPU performance in this case. GPU... I mean, the GPU should be able to hit 1600 MHz, but we are heavily CPU bound as well.
I think I know what the artifact is.
It's nice to have a working dynamic resolution though. When it needs to drop pixels, it does it. But when it comes to technical standpoint, I'm glad with the amount of options it has. When it comes to upscaling, I mean. Because usually on PC, dynamic resolution doesn't work for shit. Let's be honest here. Usually, dynamic resolution doesn't work on PC. Here it's well implemented, because it actually drops the resolution when it needs to. Yours more power limited, 3.5 and 1600 GPU will be 30 FPS, probably is 15 watts. That's the thing. We cannot go over 15 watts, so technically that's not possible. It would be nice if Valve gave us an update to like, okay, if we're plugged into the wall with certain power requirements. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at how low it drops to reach 30 FPS.
A creature of
That's
the
hilarious.
bound to a crystal. Ancient elves use them to
I mean, I get it in a way that on PS5 you can drop below 720p, so it's kind of understandable that it drops so hard in here. Especially when opening doors. Can you limit the frames? Sure. I will limit the frames. Let me do it with the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck FPS counter. Not sure if that will affect the game or not. Okay, I think it's forcing a lower resolution. Yeah, the game doesn't know that I'm locking it outside of the game. Okay. Let's lock it inside the game. So the game knows that we're locking the frame rate. And just to show you guys, this is my definitive settings, to say it in some way. So the definitive settings, which are very compromised, if you have an OLED Steam Deck, enable HDR, you should be good. FSR quality, unfortunately, while XeSS looks way better in my opinion, dynamic resolution is not that aggressive in comparison. And then dynamic resolution targeting 30 with a minimum resolution scale of 20%. So if the game needs to drop pixel count, it will. Just in order to try and reach 30s. But by default, this is on ultra performance, which looks dreadful, and I don't think it's necessary. I think we can just put it on quality with dynamic settings. Then when it comes to settings, the only thing that I changed from the low preset is texture filtering on medium, and I disabled contact shadows. Then the rest is the same as the low preset. You can also disable ambient occlusion, but it's barely an improvement when it comes to performance, and it looks worse without it. And these are definitely the settings I would use. If your mind drops below 30, do the same thing but with XeSS and you'll be good to go. Also, we can decrease the FOB a little to help the game. Maybe 90% FOB. Which I don't like doing, but in this case I think it's necessary. And that's about it. Would I say it's verified on Steam Deck? No, not really. I think calling it verified is a bit of a stretch. But hey, what can I say? I'm not Valve. Sí, Elfo. Voy a hacer eso. Primero voy a merendar y después va para ahí. So for the people that don't understand Spanish, I said that I'm going to be testing it on multiple GPUs right after this. I just need to have my food in the middle of the day. I don't know what it's called in English. And as you can see, as soon as I engage the enemy, the game drops to like 1p, 0p at 30 FPS. As you can see, the dynamic resolution does work, but it has to be very, very aggressive in order to hit 30s in certain locations. No, it's not lunch. I already had lunch. Lunch is the one that you... Well, actually, I don't think you... People in the US and Europe, people that speak English, I don't think they have an in-between between lunch and dinner, actually. Let's call it the moment for tea. Yeah, it's like 6:30 p.m. Some people will probably have, I don't know, dinner at this time. Here we have something called merienda, that is like tea for the British, but we actually eat. And then we eat again dinner at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m.
We'll see who ends this.
That's a very Latin American thing, I would say. But as you can see, as soon as I engage the enemy, as I was saying, that pixel count takes an nosedive. And it's all fine and good, we have a 7-inch screen, but this is noticeable even on a phone screen. I mean, you guys can notice that the resolution drop when I engage the enemies, right? Please don't tell me I'm crazy. When you all sleep? Probably at 1 AM and then I wake up at 8. But that's just me, because I'm more of a freelancer.
I've never seen Darkspawn this deep into
But we have a bad habit of
as far as I know,
eating at 10, 11 PM and then going to sleep. That's not good for the body. The body shouldn't have a lot of food
you saw those Darkspawn
at night.
Something was different about them.
And we'll stop.
Gamers don't sleep. Exactly. Sleep is for the weak
Right.
and people that want to be
Let's get
good.
that Central Temple.
People that want to have good health, those are the ones that sleep. The rest do not. En España hacemos merienda, además. Bueno, técnicamente soy español, así que Sí. Tiene sentido. Now it's looking like Valheim. Exactly. Valheim sounds about right. Yeah, I mean, it's basically what you would think this game will look like on a Nintendo Switch. But again, all things considered, this is expected due to how it runs on PS5. On PS5, it can drop below 720p, and the PS5 is way more powerful than the Steam Deck. I mean, what am I aiming at? I get it, I have to hit this UI thing that says 28 meters. But look at the pixelation!
More dark spawn. Right
It's
where we broke
stupidly pixelated. I mean, I get it, dynamic resolution, maintaining 30s, but this is a little bit too much. Yeah, Valheim is great on Steam Deck though, yeah. It's nice that we can actually run the game, I agree, but the sacrifices, at least when it comes to resolution, are way too high. Just by using the ballista. I mean, look at this! Yeah, the GPU is barely doing anything. We're very CPU bound, I would say. We need more power. Let me see on the smaller screen what it looks like, because this is driving me nuts. I'm now on the smaller screen. One sec. Yeah, it still looks very pixelated. Ridiculously pixelated. Yeah. I mean, you can get away with it, don't get me wrong, but this is too much. I wouldn't call this verified. Yeah, I mean, I get that it's legible text. I mean, when it comes to accessibility, this game is awesome. I mean, on accessibility's sake, I mean, the interface by itself is already on a good size for a smaller screen. I get it. Full controller support. There's a lot of stuff. This I appreciate, but performance is also important. I'm fine with 30 FPS in a handheld, but when you have to lower the pixel count to the point that you see squares on your freaking screen, I mean, yeah, accessibility is one of the things that they keep in mind, but performance is also kept in mind. It's in the prompt over here. It says, this game default graphics performs well on Steam Deck. Yeah, but the default graphics is the lowest with ultra performance FSR, which already looks like a pixelated mess. So yeah, while it's technically right to say it in some way, it doesn't mean it's good on the Steam Deck. I mean, yeah, technically Valve is right. The prompts are correct, the UI looks good, you can read, and with the default settings it runs well. But that's about it. It runs well, yeah. But that's about it.
And another resonance amplifier.
Should be the last one.
I mean, you could
Fingers
make
crossed.
Pong at, I don't know, 2x3 resolution, put it at 60 FPS and says it runs well. So yeah, technically right, but not really. El juego por ahora, el combate me gusta, todo eso. Visualmente me parece que está bueno, pero después rendimiento se queda muy atrás en el Steam Deck. O sea, considerando que dicen que es verificado. I mean, just look at this. As soon as I enter combat, it looks like this. I know this is zoomed like mad of the screen, but still, yeah, I mean, even on the smaller screen. I can barely understand what's going on. Para mí se ve bien si le subes la resolución. I mean, in my opinion, the game looks good if you increase the resolution, but on the Steam Deck, that's not doable. If you want it to look good, you would enable XeSS and let it do its thing. Because it's not as aggressive with the upscaling. I mean, just look at the difference, but you're below 30 FPS. I mean, you can tell the difference, right? But it needs to very aggressively drop the resolution. Yeah, this is how Remnant 2 looks on a Steam Deck as well. Yeah. Yeah, Remnant 2, man. Day one, it was a nightmare. Yeah, it barely improves when I decrease the resolution. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's verified. It's very far from verified when it comes to performance, I mean. Although ultra performance XeSS looks probably better. Oh yeah, but it's still not 30. Ultra performance XeSS looks way better than FSR's ultra performance, but still, that's not even enough for 30. Oh man. What CPU do you have, Alberto? So yeah, what do I think about the game? The game so far, I like the character customization. I really love the accessibility features when it comes to resolution. There's a lot of upscaling options. There is a good amount of text customizability, so the UI can be bigger for smaller screens. But it's just not good enough when it comes to performance, in my opinion, to consider it verified. Because to be frank, let's be honest, the game by itself runs at the lowest settings with ultra performance FSR as default with dynamic resolution mixed in. So the game by default, when you launch the game, it looks like this. It looks like this when you move the camera. This will be the default settings. So I don't know. Valve says with the verified stuff, yeah, controllers work fine, blah 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 blah, whatever. And the game performs well with the default settings. So yeah, they're technically right. They're not being dishonest. But at the same time, this is like playing a water painting. So this is the verified preset. The default setting looks like this. The default settings makes no sense. And if you want to be sure of that, rewind the live stream to the beginning. At the beginning I show you the default settings. It's crazy how much of a pixel can they give you by default. It's criminal. Yeah, the smear guard, exactly. Yeah. So again, would I say it's verified? No, it shouldn't. Again, Valve says this, which is technically true. Performs well, but it looks like less than 160p resolution. It's ridiculous. What about the 1650? No, we're fine on that one. We should be able to... The upscaling on that should be fine, because here we're CPU limited as well. One sec. Let me rewind my own live stream. Let's see what I said at the beginning. By the way, spoilers, this is what I'm doing next. And also this when I have time. Oops. Wrong button. Okay. So let's go to the beginning. Shader compilation was super quick. That's a big thumbs up for me. Okay, so by default, there was 720. By default, there we go. By default, it was FSR Ultra Performance. Like here I was saying, man, what the hell are they doing? And the dynamic resolution was like this, 30 FPS. Maybe it's a bug. Maybe not. Okay, my minimum resolution was 83, so it doesn't look as bad. Yeah, by default it was on low. So by itself, it's already ultra performance, but it doesn't drop below 83% ultra performance, which is already, I mean, ultra performance at this resolution, it's basically, I need to check that. 7 is, I'm doing some math in my brain. While the game loads again. Okay, so ultra performance is basically 0.33% resolution. What does that even mean? Well, it means that since we're at 800p, it's basically 264p base resolution. %. So yeah, when it comes to resolution, it's around 260 something p. It's below 360p, a third, exactly. It's 33% resolution by default. Your 6600 XT can do 60 on that. Oh, Red Dead 1. Well, the rest of the PC also matters, but that shouldn't be happening. Yeah, maybe it's a bug. We'll see. Maybe the dynamic res is a little bit too aggressive. I'll check one more time. And keep it like it was at the beginning. Oops, the target frame rate is 30, not 60. The minimum resolution scale. This was at 83. I'm sorry about the lag. That's just the game. There we go. So default settings is low. And ultra performance FSR. With low graphics, I just increased the texture filtering a tiny bit. And let's see, with the default settings, what we get in the open world-ish. What about the X11? This is not Unreal Engine, so I don't know about the X11. I'm pretty sure that's not an option on Frostbite. And here we go. Hold up. I forgot, the game was not locked. Oh, okay, it's unlocked. And there you are. It's not as pixelated, but it's still very pixelated. Let's see, we're going into combat.
I think it is. Then the alignment means we're here. This is
So yeah, it's verified, but it shouldn't be, in my opinion. Especially at the beginning of the game. The beginning of the game runs even worse than this. Let's see, you get into combat, what happens?
Why is it called that?
Okay. So it stays pretty close to the ultra performance thing. It doesn't go as low as when I did a custom setting. But again, I think the pixel count is way too low. So yeah, technically it does run well, but that's about it. That's what it says. Have you played Horizon Remastered yet? Not yet. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. It depends. It highly depends if Monster Hunter Rise? No. Wilds actually works tomorrow. Oops. Of 80% CPU usage on all cores seems way too high. Yeah, it's using... I think that's the main limitation. If we use less CPU, we could probably use that extra power for the GPU. I mean, the GPU is getting left behind due to the CPU saying like, please give me power. Remember, the GPU and the CPU share power. When the CPU needs it, it'll take it away from the GPU. Airplay Cut 6 on SteamOS? No, unfortunately not. That's not happening. Ask Microsoft and Activision to allow Linux on the anti-cheat. Okay. Okay, before I go back to the beginning, because at the beginning it was below 30 despite these settings. Let's see what happens. And we're going to go for the PC. Was that really what the game considered a puzzle? Yeah. Yeah, you need to find the other crystal and put it there. Although I'm playing on easy, maybe puzzles change on a higher difficulty.
Soulless. Smart, thoughtful.
Ooh, and I turn on the light.
To hear himself talk.
Okay, so let's say I want to be this person. Sure. Yeah. Let's play on normal. Sure. Playstyle. I'm a keeper. Sure, this is fine. Can I put hair on this person? Oh, of course I can. Customize the lineage, appearance, and voice of the Inquisitor by using the option below. Sure. Look at that hair. Whatever is rendering. Okay. I don't know why it allowed me to do that change if I was using another character, but past adventures. Okay. Is it at 75 in the menu? What's going on? What do you mean? Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's using the CPU everywhere. It's Frostbite. Here's the only good thing about the game, and you can have that in deck. Exactly. Yeah, the option is not even there, unfortunately.
Where were we? Oh.
Okay, so here's the beginning of the game.
You think.
That is pretty intense. But as you can see, again, the base resolution is already too low.
How'd you figure, sweet talker?
Nev Gallus, we were supposed to.
I didn't let them. They paid.
I mean, her face is all
Answer my
squares.
questions and walk away with the coin.
Maybe we need another Proton version to get it running better. I don't think it's a Proton thing.
Your choice. You're adorable.
Thank you.
You want
That.
They can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh.
I hope Nev's as good at finding people as you claim.
She's the best damn detective I've
I bet the fan is screaming. No, on the LED, on the OLED Steam Deck is usually not super super noticeable, even with the fan at 100%.
Something must have
And
gotten
again, the first impression of the game is pretty poor, because it can drop, apart from keeping the resolution on ultra performance, it does this. So definitely the beginning of the game runs about worse
We
than
don't
the
wanna
rest.
look conspicuous. Just get out of here nice and casual. Find Nev Gallus and stop.
But I mean, yeah, it runs well, but that's as far as I can go,
You still
because it
think
has
he's
to
all
drop
down before he
to
starts his big
less
ritual?
than 200p
That ritual is going to tear
to
down
get
the veil.
to run at
The
30
only thing
consistently,
separating us
quote
from the
unquote.
Fade and an endless number of demons.
But again, I just don't get why. I'm guessing marketing is the reason it's verified.
Are they? We've got.
We don't
The only thing that
started.
is not verified, in my opinion, is
Still
the
stop
image
SOS
quality.
before it finishes.
It's a small screen, so it's less noticeable. But at this resolution, even on a smaller screen, you can notice it. That's basically the conclusion.
Solus summoning demons on purpose.
We'll try less native resolution instead of using FSR. What do you mean? Oh, you mean dropping the base resolution? Yeah, I mean, but we cannot go that much lower. Yeah, the lowest it allows us is actually 720, which just gives us black bars. It's not like it changes much at all.
Completely?
It's still ultra performance as a base. Another difference is that you have black bars at the top and bottom, which will help a little bit, but it's probably not going to be night and day.
Come on, this way. It should get us to Harding.
FSR is CPU intensive? No, definitely not. I'm sorry, but I have to disagree on that one.
I've been fought some demons.
The
and
person
Larkin
verifying is
surprised
90 years old and going
us.
blind?
Nothing
It could be.
handle.
I wouldn't be
Right up,
surprised.
prevent they grow- Not a ice.
Yeah. Let's fight.
Demon.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the Digital Foundry tech review of this game, and a Ryzen 5 3600 was CPU bound into the 70 FPS range when in an open location. So if that CPU is CPU bound at 70%, I'm not surprised that we're CPU bound on Steam Deck. That means that the game uses a lot of CPU. Although we're not using ray tracing, obviously.
No, I think that's Dumont Plaza.
But again, the base resolution is just way too low by
Solus
default.
tears down.
But I guess that's the only way. I thought they were exaggerating, but no. So yeah, I think I'll leave it here for now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thanks again to EA for providing a code for the game. I highly appreciate it from them. And well, right now what I say is verified on Steam Deck, it shouldn't be. While everything that Valve says is true, that the icons are correct, that the text is big enough, and that it performs well with the default settings, that's all true. But the issue is that while it performs better on the default settings look horrible, because the resolution is below 200p. So yeah, right now I do not recommend it on Steam Deck. The game itself, I don't know, I played too little of it. But when it comes to performance on Steam Deck, it's okay, just the image quality is dog shit. I mean, again, below 200p, even on a 3-inch screen I would notice this. So if you're okay with a very low pixel count at 30 FPS with some drops, you should be good. But that's about it, that's as far as it goes for me. At least the UI is sharp, I guess. So thank you again so much for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you after I have my merienda, which is food before dinner. So I can play this on the PC and see actually the CPU cost of playing this game. That will be interesting. So just give me a second, I will redirect you automatically. If you want to see how it runs on PC, I'll tell YouTube to redirect you. So you guys don't have to wait for anything. It just goes there. I'll give me 90 minutes of rest because I've been here for like 2 or 3 hours, I think. So in around an hour and a half I'll be back. But on PC. Yeah, right now on deck, don't play it on deck. It's verified, but only by name. It's verified because Valve says so, but I do not believe them. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in 90 minutes. And thanks, yeah, I'll enjoy my food, definitely. Thanks guys, I appreciate that, love you all, see you in a bit.